Well, has anybody gotten started on quite a few of the Bright Thinker assignments already?
Yes. Yeah, I finished everyone except for math.
I finished everything except for math and literacy.
What about good language? Nice. So in literature, you guys read the third part of Mowgli's Brothers. What did you all think of Bagheera's advice to Mowgli? Devansh?
Bagheera was giving the right advice, and he was also saying the right thing, but Mowgli wasn't trying to listen to him. He was not listening to anyone. He was like, he's just a tiger. How can he harm me?
That's right.
And also, for the question where it said, why can the animals not look Mowgli in the eye? The answer would be that the animals can't look Mowgli in the eye because it kind of shows disrespect to the humans.
Good question on that one. It's not exactly about disrespect. It's more that they're scared or intimidated by him and all humans. Now, why would they be scared of humans? What are some of the reasons that we've heard that they might be scared of them?
Some reasons are like they have stronger weapons and they might put them into cages.
Yes, they have weapons and they have reason and speech and abilities that the animals don't have. Rihanna, do you want to add on to that?
Because they're wise, so they know like strategies to trap them. And also because they could set up traps in the forest and kill them so that they could eat them and cut them and butcher them.
Yeah, so they're wise. Well said. They have this reason that animals do not have. Animals have a different type of knowledge and reason, but it's not the kind that humans have. And so they understand that and they're intimidated by any human, including Mowgli. Apparently, I just learned this also, that Mowgli is supposed to be pronounced Mowgli, by the way. But we are so used to saying Mowgli, so it just is easier to stick with that. Krish?
Like also another reason was because like the Black Panther, Bagheera, he couldn't look because like Mowgli, he had some knowledge in his mind, so that the Black Panther couldn't look in his eyes because the Black Panthers animals don't have knowledge like humans.
Very good. Yeah, even Bagheera, the Black Panther, who liked Mowgli, they were friends. Even he just had that instinctual sense of not being able to look him in the eyes because humans have knowledge that animals don't. They also are unique in their ability to have speech, and that advances them as well to be able to speak. Darshika?
And they are afraid of the red flower.
That's another good point. Now, what is the red flower in the story?
It's the fire.
That's right. Now, Mowgli does not fear the red flower. He's able to harness it and use it wisely, but animals are fearful of fire or the red flower.
Yeah, they call it like this because it's red. They think it's the red flower.
Mm-hmm. Krish?
And also, when he said that he has Bagheera, Balu in the pack for safety, so he doesn't need to worry about Shere Khan. Even though if he's alone, if Shere Khan sees him, he's have to fight. He just cannot call Bagheera to just run. But he's far away, so he has to fight against him.
Yeah, absolutely. What if he's not with them? He can't just think, oh, it's just a tiger. It's just Shere Khan. I don't need to be afraid of him. He won't always have them around to protect him. So I am glad that you guys are enjoying this story. We've got the last part of the Mowgli's Brothers story that you'll be reading tomorrow. And you know how in this one, it skipped over a lot of his childhood? It skipped over 10 years. We're going to go back in our next story and hear about some things that happened in that 10-year time. So next week, we'll be reading a story that gets into that 10-year time. including Baloo teaching little Mowgli. By the way, for map testing, I know I told you guys about this a little bit yesterday, and I sent an email to your parents about it. But map testing is going to change up our routine quite a bit next week. So basically, we'll do map tests 1 a day, Monday through Thursday. You'll have reading on Monday, language on Tuesday, math on Wednesday, and science on Thursday. And you'll still come in to the meet at 11:30, just like usual. You don't come into school. You'll do it from home, and you'll log in at 11:30 to take the test. And I'm going to have science, history, and literature assignments for you almost every day, unless it's like a day that you take a science test, you won't do extra science. And a day that you do reading, you won't do extra reading. And you'll also have extra math to do. So there's going to be a separate video on a math review or math lesson, but we're not going to do any spelling Monday through Thursday, and we won't do any well-ordered language Monday through Thursday. Okay? So no spelling, no well-ordered language. On Friday, we will still have a quiz, just like usual. And I will let you know what lessons to review the words from in your orthography notebook. So you'll want to review those words in preparation for the quiz on Friday. They're ones that we've already learned, though. Okay, any questions about that next week? Shatish?
Well, can I do the test on 8:30 because about at 11:30 I have to go somewhere urgent.
What's that?
Can I do the test at 8:30? Can I do the test at 8:30 because at 11:30 I have to go somewhere urgent?
Oh, okay. Which day?
Monday.
Monday. Okay, that should be fine. You won't be able to do that for every day, but if it's just Monday, that should be fine.
Only if Monday.
Okay. Saisanov?
I think I know what lessons to which lesson.
Oh, great.
It's 97 to 102.
Okay, nice. Thank you. I'll double check that and put it in. It's going to be 2 weeks worth of lessons. Krish?
Like for some reason today homework was so less. I finished it so early.
Yeah, science was kind of short. History wasn't too long either.
I
guess everything was kind of short. Devansh?
Also, in Mowgli's Brothers, we also learned that the panther, Bagheera, he was like caged before.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? He was a pet, or not really a pet because they didn't treat him well, but he was caged in like a palace, and he escaped. So that makes him fear men even more.
And also in Shere Khan, in the end is like Khan Academy.
Yeah, it's spelled just like it. Arjun, did you have a question?
Until what time should until what time does the map test end?
It ends whenever you're done, so it's not a specific time. It should take you about 1 to 2 hours for every single test.
Okay.
So you might be done at about 12:30 or 1:30. Size enough?
How can you say that I forgot the Black Panther's name again.
Bagheera?
Yeah, Bagheera. How can you say it's interesting? It's probably a little bad, right?
Well, there are some things that are interesting that are bad, right? Like it's interesting to read about wars, even though it's unfortunate and sad. But you're right. It would be terrible for him to be in a cage for those years. And like a wild animal like that should not be in this tiny enclosed space. A panther needs space to run and to be able to hunt. So it's wonderful that he, in our story now, is able to do all of those things. Okay, so in science, you learned about the excretory system or the urinary system, it's also called. 2 short videos to watch on that and some notes. You'll take some more notes and do a diagram tomorrow on the kidneys and the bladder as the main organs, the biggest organs in that system. Size enough?
I think we already did the urinary system in 2nd grade.
Nice. Let's just review then. We're doing some extra systems that you would have learned about in 2nd grade somewhat because we still had extra time, and it still falls in the human body systems as a whole. And finally, in history, you learned about the Puritan culture. What was maybe some things that stood out as things that we would do in our school setting versus things that we definitely don't do anymore? Brianna?
We learn spelling,
Yeah, we learned spelling just like them.
but we don't learn how to read or write.
What?
Actually, we do learn to write, but not to read.
What do you mean you don't learn to read?
Okay, I don't know.
Reading.
That's a
Yeah, you guys learn to read. It's just that by the time you're 3rd graders, you already know how to read the basics, and we just are focused on reading better. Netra, what observations did you have on the history chapter?
Well, they do their school in their teacher's own house, and we do our school in a separate place.
Yeah. Although there have been times when I have done virtual school from my home, so that's about as close as it gets.
Yeah, but they're actually in the teacher's house doing it.
Yes, that's definitely a difference. What else? Krish, what observation did you have?
I have like a lot, but first, our building is big and theirs are small.
Mm-hmm.
And also in classical, they're not even strict, and they're so much strict.
I definitely think the Puritans were more strict.
Yeah, that's what I said. And then and I in the in the chapter where in that church, I think they shouldn't have told like they have to get a punishment. They could just tell one time, and then after that, if they do it, then they could get punishment.
I agree. He's talking about on Sundays when if they were running or playing, they would get a punishment just for like chasing each other outside on a Sunday. That's crazy. But yeah, they could have said, no, remember, we don't run on a Sunday. But it was an immediate punishment. And I also think that they shouldn't say kids can't even run on a Sunday.
And also, don't they run because Sunday's a resting day?
Yes, Sunday's a day of rest, and the Puritans were very specific about that. A lot of people just say, well, you don't do work on a Sunday. That's the way of resting. But you could do some things in the garden, you could do chores, you could play piano, you could do sports. Those are ways of resting, right? Like going out and playing sports.
Yeah,
That's
I like
resting because it's not doing work. So that's a good thing to do on the weekend.
Like in
I would say.
In Farmer Boy, their parents let us do like something. Like they're like just telling worship the God and be quiet.
Yeah, so it's even stricter than Farmer Boy, which was already kind of strict. Okay, well, let's start on the Pledge of Allegiance and school motto at this time. Netra, could you lead us? Netra, could you take yourself off mute and lead us in the pledge?
I didn't know it was me.
That's okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice, and all. I will honor those who distinguish people. Respect. I will show respect to others at all times. Service. I will do good things to others without being asked. Excellence. I will strive for excellence in all things. Perseverance. I will fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragement.
Thank you, Nethra. Please join me for a moment of silence. Okay, boys and girls, well, we are short on time because our conversation took longer. Let's jump right into spelling words and skip phonograms for today. Please begin by writing digest. Digest. Brianna, you keep accidentally unmuting. Is there maybe a book or notebook on the... Oh. Digest. Hold it up so I can see everybody's words. Digest. Digest. Next, digestible. 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 Check that your spelling matches mine. Next up, please write marmalade. 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 Next up, please write desert, like a sandy desert. Desert. Just one S in desert. I'm going to erase my board for more room. We've got 3 more. Next is immense. Please write immense. Immense. Next is enormous. Enormous. Both excellent words to use to describe something large. Immense and enormous. Adarsh, you're not in front of the camera. Are you in the room? I think not. Okay, last word to write for review is leopard. We think to spell leopard. Leopard, we think to spell leopard. This is our last one, Adarsh. Quickly write leopard, which we think to spell leopard. Leopard. Great job. That is all for review today. Time for us to get our paper out for a new spelling lesson. And would somebody like to also say the poem for us? Happy Farmer. I don't think we've heard from Rashi. Rashi, can you try our poem, The Happy Farmer?
Okay. Let the mighty and great roll in splendor and state. I envy them not, I declare it. I eat my own lamb, my chicken and ham. I shear my own sheep and I wear it.
I have lawns and
green bowers, fresh fruits and fine flowers.
The lark.
The lark is my morning charmer.
Bright morning charmer.
Bright morning charmer. The future is now.
So God bless the plow.
God bless the plow. The future is now.
In the future as now.
In the future as now.
A health and long life.
A health and long life to the farmer.
Good job, Rashi. It'd be best probably to review it a couple more times before you do the recitation. I'll put that recitation in BrightThinker as an assignment so that if you guys are ready to upload your videos, you can do that today or tomorrow. I'll get to that right after class today. Adarsh, can you try our Happy Farmer poem as well? And I'll help you if you get stuck.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Happy Farmer by Anonymous. What's the first part?
Let the mighty and great.
Let the mighty and great roll in splendor and state. I envy them not, I declare it. I have lawns and green bowers, fresh fruits and fine flowers. The lark is my bright morning charmer.
You skipped over a little bit. Let's go back. I eat my own lamb.
I eat my own lamb, my chicken and ham. I wear my own sheep. Share my own sheep and I wear it. I have lawns and green bowers, fresh fruits and fine flowers. The lark is my bright morning charmer.
God bless the plow.
So God bless the plow, and the future is now, and a long health to the farmer.
A health and long life to the farmer. Great job, Adarsh. You've almost completely memorized that. Darshika, sweetie, we're going to wait because you've done it before, so we're going to hold off. But you do such an excellent job. Chris, you as well always do such an excellent job with our poems, but we'll hold off on others for today. Okay, well, let's get started with our new spelling lesson. Our first spelling word today is immediate. Would you all say immediate? We've had this word fairly recently. I'm not sure why they include this, but I know that it's probably fairly fresh on your mind. Immediate. Ahana, do you remember how we think to spell it? Okay, Chris, do you remember how we think to spell it?
I have two things. First, we think to spell immediate.
Good job. Immediate.
And also, the last thing I was saying, yesterday we went to the dentist, and then they let us see a movie, and my sister saw Jungle Book.
Ooh, nice.
She didn't even cry while they were cleaning her teeth. She didn't even cry while she was watching.
That's a sign of a good movie, I guess, if it stops a little toddler from crying at the dentist. Okay. Ahana, sorry you left. Can you carefully unmute and then tell us how we think to spell immediate?
Immediate.
Good. Immediate or immediate if it helps you. Sound it out with me. Immediate. 4 syllables. First syllable, im. We've got a silent m there to keep the vowel short. Next is m-e. E in an open syllable says its name there. Next, d-e, or you can think of it like Ahana did, d-I. We have an I-I-E in that syllable. And final syllable is a-t with a silent finally, job 1. Please write immediate. Immediate, but we think to spell immediate. Show me your word when you're done. Okay. Is, syllable break, e, syllable break, I, syllable break, a, silent final e. Immediate. Arima, would you mark the word for us?
Yeah. On the first syllable, we double underline the M since it's silent. In the second syllable, we underline the E since it's saying its name. In the third syllable, we mark a 3 above the I, and in the last syllable, we underline A, and then double underline E, and then it do a 1 right next to it since it's saying doing job 1, and we do a thinking cap over A since it's not saying A, but it's saying like ut.
Kind of an I sound, immediate, or ut, yeah. And the T is part of the vowel consonant vowel pattern. This is an adjective. Okay, next word. Word 2 for today is convenient. Would you all say convenient? convenient means that it makes something like easy or practical. Convenient. Like you could say, it's convenient that the brother and sister had soccer practice at the same time. Convenient. Meaning it makes it easy. And it's kind of handy and practical if that happens. Arima, can you tell us when you might use the word convenient?
You might use it if someone if you wanted something like if your favorite food was I don't know, gummies, then you might say gummies would be convenient for me.
Let's see, not quite. Because convenient has to do with it being easy and practical. Can you think of something else?
Maybe cleaning my room would be convenient.
Not quite that either. It's a tricky one to think through, but basically if you are on your way back to the house and on your way back to your house and there's a gas station on the way and your light just turned on, your parents' car obviously, just turned on that you need gas. It's convenient that there's a gas station right there just as you need gas. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can I say how we think to spell it?
Yes.
We think to spell it convenient.
Yeah, that's it. Very good. Convenient or convenient. That's because this is an unusual one, but the word convene is the base of it. Convene means to get together. Like a convention center is a place to get together. Convene. So that's the base of convenient. But we think to spell convenient. Sound it out with me. Convenient. 4 syllables. First syllable is k-a-n. 3 sounds basic code. Next syllable, v-e-n. 3 sounds. E says its name, even though it's in a closed syllable. But that's because it's in the base word convene. Then we add I, which actually makes a y sound in this word. And last syllable, et-n-t. 3 sounds, that's basic code. Please pick up your pencil and write convenient. But we say convenient. Yes, Krish?
We also use this is a convenient job.
Not a convenient job. Sorry, this is a tricky one. I'm trying to think through the best way to think about it. Because you could say that it's an easy job, but convenient wouldn't work there because it has to be oh, this is handy. This is practical. Can you guys think of something that you would say is handy? Oh, wow, that's handy. That's practical. Brianna?
That money is convenient.
Oh, it is handy to have money if you're in a pinch. You could say, well, it's convenient that he just got paid before he needed to replace his car, for example. Saisanov?
What if you really need to go to the bathroom and the bathroom was just right there?
Oh, excellent example. You need to go to the bathroom so bad. And the bathroom is right there. Or maybe there was a long line, but then all of a sudden it cleared out just as you needed to go. That's convenient. Definitely. Okay. It's also convenient if you guys have your school supplies right there next to the place where you do your schooling. Do all of you keep your supplies right there next to your desk? Yeah, that's convenient, isn't it? It's easy or handy that it's right there next to you. Okay, let's write the word. I think that's enough with the definition, but it is good to talk through how best to use it. Okay, convenient is the way we think to spell. Convenient. Convenient. Could I have Arjun mark it for us?
Mhm. So in the first syllable, the O, you have to put a thinking cap above it. In the second syllable, underline the E. And then since the I says a Y sound, you put a thinking cap above it.
Perfect.
And then no more at the end syllable.
We'll actually put a thinking cap over the E too because it's kind of pronounced convenient. But excellent job.
It's an adverb, right?
It's an adjective. We could say conveniently as an adverb form. Okay, our next word is one that's, I'm sure, a lot easier to think about. Our next word is receipt. Would you all say receipt? And a receipt you get from, go ahead, Saisanov, you can tell us what receipt is.
Can I also say how to spell it?
Yes.
A receipt is like when you're trying to buy something and you already checked it out, and you paid it already. You can see if the items are right, and if you want to return some things, you can use that receipt to return the book. I mean, like some things you need.
For example, a book. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, a receipt tells you what you purchased and how much it cost. And it also is how you're able to make returns if you need to. And how do we think to spell it, Saisanov?
Receipt.
Yes, there's a silent P in this word. Can you all think to spell it as receipt? Don't spit on me. Don't spit on your computer. It's kind of hard not to when you say the thing to spell. Receipt. P-t. Receipt. This is one of the words that has that spelling pattern of I before E, except after C. There is a C that makes the S sound in this word. So we're not going to use EI piece of pie. Instead, we use the phonogram AE that we do not use at the end of English words. Okay. Please sound out receipt with me. Receipt. 2 syllables. First syllable, E. E is in an open syllable saying its name, re. Next is S, E, P, T. The S is K, S. And the E is AE that we do not use at the end of English words. Adarsh, please don't do that. That is dangerous. Pick up your pencils, boys and girls, to write receipt. Receipt. Show me your word when you're done, please.
What was the word?
Receipt. Saisanov?
May I mark the word?
Yes. Re, syllable break, S, E, P, T. Receipt. Okay, Sasanov, what are the markings?
You underline the E.
Good.
You put a 2 on top of the K.
Excellent.
You underline the E that we do not end at English words.
Good. And which sound is it saying?
Second.
What else?
You need to double underline the P because we don't say its name.
Correct.
And it's a noun because it's a thing.
Perfect. Well done, Sasanov. Now, Thread, did you have a question or comment?
Well, what's the thing for convenient?
Part of speech?
Part of speech. Yeah.
Adjective. Okay, our last word today is preliminary. Can you all say preliminary? Rashi, sweetheart, you keep blocking the computer camera. I need you to stay focused.
Actually, I was like cleaning the screen.
Okay, it's just really distracting because it looks like this. Yeah. Okay, who has heard of the word preliminary? Drishya, you and Darshika did preliminaries before what you're about to do, right?
Yes.
Tell us what that is.
It's like the round, like it's one of the round in like a competition. It's like one of the rounds that you use to go to the next one or the last one.
Very good. It has that prefix pre, which means before. And it has, basically it means it comes before something else. So there's like a preliminary round before something bigger. Like there might be Olympic preliminaries. So before you are able to go to the Olympics and compete for your country, you've got to place in the preliminaries to be able to get you there. So it's like a competition before another competition. Or it doesn't have to be a competition, but it's basically just something that comes before another preliminary. Like if you do spelling bees at school, winning in your class before going to the school spelling bee is kind of like a preliminary. So there's the preliminary spelling bee in the classroom, and then you go to the school spelling bee. Ahana, are you giving me a thumbs up because you've been to the spelling bee before? Nice. Drisha, you too? Very nice. Okay, let's sound out preliminary. Preliminary. 5 syllables. First syllable, p-er-e. 3 sounds. E is in an open syllable saying its name. Next is lim. L-I-m. 3 sounds. Basic code. Next is it-n. 2 sounds. Basic code. Prelim-in. Next, a-r. 2 sounds. That's an R-controlled vowel, but an A is there. And it says kind of a funny sound because of the R. And finally, what makes an E sound at the end of a word? Say it with me. Y-I-E. Please write preliminary. Show me your word, please, when you are finished. Preliminary. P-R-E, syllable break. O-I-M, syllable break. In, syllable break. A, syllable break. E, prelim in air E. Please check that your spelling matches mine. Great job, Nethra. I see a happy dance over there. Sai, would you mark the word for us? Whoa, Drisha, that's quite a happy dance.
You have to underline the E on the first syllable.
Excellent job.
The second syllable is basic code.
Correct.
The third syllable is basic code.
Correct.
And then you have to put a thinking cap above R.
Good. Except that we're just going to thinking cap the A alone.
Okay. Do you have to underline R?
No, because it's not R, the pirate phonogram. It just is A and R.
Okay, and then you have to put 3 above the A, I, E.
Good job.
Do we need to underline?
I'm going to check my manual on that one. Prelim in air E. They say no, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay, now this can be a noun, like the preliminary takes place tonight. But it can also be an adjective, like the preliminaries for wrestling will determine who goes to the Olympics. Size enough?
Can you put preliminary in the prefix and suffix page?
Ooh, nice thought. Yeah, I think that we have a pre in this prefix page. I don't know if we have space for it, is the only problem. Let's write our words in cursive now. Immediate.
There's pre in prefix.
Yep, pre is in prefix. Convenient. Receipt. Prelim in air E. Let me see your beautiful cursive when you are done. Okay, since we've got a little extra time as people finish, Darshika, I know you wanted to say the poem. Can you do that for us now?
Let the happy farmer, let the mighty and great go in splendor and state. I envy them not, I declare it. I eat my own lamb, my chicken and ham. I share my own sheep and wear it. I have lawns and green bowers, fresh fruits and fine flowers. The lark is my bright morning charmer. So God bless the plow from the future as now, a health and a happy life for a farmer.
Good job, sweetie. That was perfect. Well done. I'm going to move us over to my desk. And we're going to do some well-ordered language. We've got quite a few jingles that we'll be doing today. So take out your well-ordered language books. And once again, next week we don't have any well-ordered language. And then we will finish up our direct objects unit when we get back. And then we'll basically just have a bunch of review for the end of the year because there's only going to be one more week left of school at that point. Crazy. Who's feeling ready for summer? Who's feeling ready to see their friends and be back at school in person next year?
Be okay with that.
I am so excited for you guys to be back in person. Rihanna, you're going to love seeing your friends. It's going to be so good for you guys to be back in person, although we're going to miss Arjun so much because he won't be joining us next year.
And Samantha's going to rip me.
And what?
Now Samantha's going to be so excited. She's going to
Because she'll finally get to be in person with you. And Nethra will finally get to be in person with everybody.
I can't take it. She's going to rampage me.
Okay, I'll be right back. Let me get the well-ordered language. Okay, we've got quite a few things to review first off today. Now we've been talking about 2 classes of nouns. Can anybody tell me what they are? Rihanna?
Object pronouns and then nouns. No, direct object. And then object pronouns.
Not quite. I think you're thinking of what things can be a direct object. And it is true that object pronouns and nouns can be direct objects. But the classes of nouns is something different. Chris, do you know what I'm talking about?
Object pronouns and subject pronouns?
No. Let me give you an example of 2 types of proper nouns.
Proper and common.
I gave it away. Proper and common. I was about to give you guys examples. I was going to say Saisanov and caterpillar would be a proper noun and then a common noun. So, proper and common. Arjun, can you give me an example of a proper noun and a common noun?
Proper noun would be like a name, like Arjun, my name or something.
Definitely.
A common noun is just a thing, or like school, or like a building.
Yeah, school would be an example, or building. Okay. Turn to page 198, boys and girls. And we've got a few other things we're going to review from there. One of the questions is, what are the 4 classes of verbs? And it's been quite a while since we've done the 4 classes of verbs song, but let's pull it up. Who thinks they remember the 4 classes of verbs song? Starts with, these are the 4 classes of verbs. You guys remember that one? Okay, I'm going to pull it up. You guys can dance along to, where is it? 4 classes of verbs. These are 4 classes of verbs. The 4 classes of verbs are transitive verbs, linking verbs, and transitive verbs, and helping verbs. These are classes of verbs.
A transitive verb takes an objective element. A linking verb joins a subject to a predicate. An intransitive verb does not take an objective element or join a subject to a predicate. A helping verb helps another verb express its meaning. A helping verb helps another verb express its meaning.
These are 4 classes of verbs. These are the 4 classes of verbs. So, a transitive verb takes an objective element. The bottom of page 198 has a bunch of good examples of transitive verbs like took. You can't really say, Devansh took. That doesn't make sense on its own. It is a subject and a predicate verb, but it doesn't make sense on its own because it needs a direct object. Devansh took the banana. It needs that direct object. Took doesn't make sense without an object. Or he hit in the bottom of page 198. He hit. Doesn't really make sense without an object. We need to know what he hit. In that sentence, it's he hit the old socks, of course. Those are kind of weird sentences we're going to get into. So the 4 classes of verbs are transitive verbs, which need an objective element. A linking verb you're going to get into in 4th grade. And then we've got intransitive verb, which basically is not a helping verb or a linking verb or a transitive verb. It's all the other ones. And then we know all about helping verbs. Okay, let's continue on with the review it section. What is a direct object? Let's sing our DO song. D-O, D-O.
A direct object is an objective element that tells what the subject is acting on.
D-O, D-O.
It's a noun or pronoun after a transitive verb.
O, D-O.
It answers the question what or whom after the verb and is labeled D-O.
So, according to our song, what is a DO? Adarsh, can you help us out with that one? A direct object is what?
A direct object is an objective element that tells what the subject is acting on.
Way to go! And I want you to add on a little extra, Darsh. It's a noun or
pronoun after the transitive verb.
You got it. And finally, what are the questions that a direct object answers? It answers the questions.
It answers the question. I forgot that part.
That's okay. You did so well. What or whom are the 2 questions? It answers the questions what or whom after the verb. Great job, Adarsh. Okay, just for fun, this is not actually let's do the object pronoun. That's the last one. That's on the page that I want to do, and then I want to go over some extra jingles.
Object pronouns are in the objective case. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Object pronouns are in the objective case. Me, it, us, you, them, me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them, me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. So, Shatij, tell me the 8 object pronouns.
Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them.
You got it.
I get confused from object pronouns and
Subject.
yeah.
Let's do the subject pronoun jingle for review as well. Here are the subject pronouns, which means they can be the subject of a sentence. Subject pronouns are
in the nominative case. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Subject pronouns are in the nominative case.
I'll stop it from there since it keeps repeating for so long. But those are the subject pronouns. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Which pronouns are the same, whether they're subject case or nominative case or objective case? They're still the same. Saisanov?
You and it.
Good. You and it are the ones that are the same. It's been a while since we've done, I'd like to do actually principal elements, but then also antecedents go with these pronouns. So let's go over that jingle as well to review. The antecedent is a noun clause or phrase to which a pronoun refers. If the antecedent is singular, then the pronoun is singular too. But if the noun clause or phrase is plural, then the pronoun must be plural too. The antecedent determines which pronoun is used. Ba-bum-bum. I love that one. What is an antecedent according to that song? Tricia?
An antecedent is a noun, clause, or phrase to which the pronoun refers. The antecedent is singular, but pronoun is and the pronoun is singular too. But if the noun, clause, or phrase is plural, then the pronoun must be two. The antecedent determines which pronoun is used. Ba-ba-bum-bum.
Good job, Tricia. Okay, let's do one more. And I feel like we should do the principal element song because I still go tell you guys occasionally, you know, these are the principal elements of the sentence. That's what we're looking for next. But what are the principal elements? Let's hear about it in our song. Remember to start building. Principal elements
are the parts of the sentence that are needed for the sentence to be completed. Subject and predicate are those two parts. Principal elements are the parts of the sentence that are needed for the sentence to be completed. Subject and predicate are those two parts.
So, what are the principal elements, Rihanna?
Subject and predicate.
That's right. Subject and predicate are those two parts. Yes, Arima?
I was gonna say what they also are.
Oh, yes. Tell us a little bit more.
They're parts of a sentence needed for the sentence to be complete.
Well said. Okay, let's get into our workbook pages at this time. We're going to construct some sentences, adding a conjunction and another direct object, maybe even some adjectives describing that direct object. Okay, could I have Arjun do number 1? Read what we have for sentence 1, and then we're going to think through a compound direct object that can go with it. Arjun, could you do number 1 for us?
Oh yeah, sorry. Winston took from the shelf the tennis racket and the tennis balls. Would that work?
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
And the tennis balls or and tennis balls?
Let's see what would sound better. The tennis racket and I think the would be a good addition since we already said the.
Okay.
The tennis racket.
So the would be. So I should add the?
It would be fine either way. Winston took from the shelf the tennis racket and the tennis balls, or Winston took from the shelf the tennis racket and tennis balls. Either one.
Okay.
Okay, Rashi, you want to do number 2?
Okay. Next, he swatted the pillows and comforter.
Yep, he could swat pillows. Do you know what swat means?
Nope.
Think of like a fly swatter. Pow, pow, pow. Pow, pow, pow.
Oh, that?
It's like to kind of like slap. So it sounds like he's taking a tennis racket, and with the tennis racket, he's kind of smacking the pillows and the comforter.
Comforter.
Kind of weird, isn't it?
He swatted the pillows and comforter hard.
Oh, yeah, we could add an
Real
adverb.
hard.
Let's make it a little bit more proper, though. How about aggressively? That would be a good adverb to use. Aggressively. I like it.
Because he's a teddy bear.
Winston's a teddy bear? Okay,
Yes.
Arima, do you have an idea for number 3? And Chris, you're unmuted.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think he's kind of like trying to maybe like, I think there might be like dust on the pillows and he's trying to get it off.
Maybe. I don't know what's going on.
Or get out the dust.
Okay, and then for the third one, I think we could do then he hit the old socks. And the old shirts.
Yeah, sure. He hit some old sock. I think what's happening is he's got like balled up socks and he's swatting them with a tennis racket as if it was a tennis ball. And he's doing the same thing with some old shirts.
And comforter.
And the comforter and pillows.
Very aggressively. I do not think that's how you play tennis.
Maybe you have to be aggressive with a pillow. They really fight back. Right, Shatish? Okay, Shatish, you want to do the last one for us? Did Winston just invent pillow tennis? How about we use a conjunction or? Next. What is the other thing that maybe he just invented? Did he just invent pillow tennis or?
Did Vincent just invent pillow tennis? Or racket tennis? Racket tennis.
What is it?
Or
Comforter tennis, yeah. Rihanna, do you have an idea of what kind of game this is?
Or throwing the hitting the bed with the racket.
Yeah, but could we think of a good name for it? Maybe a fight.
A pillow fight. This is my pillow fight. Maybe this was years ago when pillow fights weren't invented.
Tennis racket pillow fight.
Oh, tennis racket pillow fight. Let's do that one.
And comforter.
Did he just invent pillow tennis or tennis racket pillow fight?
Is it okay if I do a different one for that one?
Yes, you can. What is the one you're going to write?
Or sock tennis?
Oh, nice. I kind of like the idea of it's either pillow tennis or something like a fight. Okay, next we're going to analyze the sentences lower on the page. Devansh, you have a question?
For sentence 2, when it says swatted, I was thinking about the police, the SWAT.
Oh yeah, it does kind of make you think of that.
And also for 3, I wrote, then he hit the old socks and shirts kindly.
Oh, that changes it up. I don't think I've ever seen someone be hitting something kindly. Okay, I'm going to leave the meeting and come right back, boys and girls, because my video is not working.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Miss Gardner.
Hello.
Hello.
Miss Gardner, it's phonogram time.
Good morning, Miss Gardner.
Phonogram. What? What are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
Hello.
you just enter the meeting, and whenever you enter the meeting, it's always phonogram time.
Everything restarts, of course. We have
Everything's
to
going to restart.
everything
over. Oh, time to do the Pledge of Allegiance again and everything. Oh, no. Okay, let's start analyzing sentence 1. Oh my goodness, you guys are goofy. No. Okay, Darshika, would you read sentence 1 and analyze it for us?
Okay. Under the bridge, the fisherman caught trout and walleye.
Yeah, I think it's walleye.
Walleye.
And it's a type of fish.
Oh. Okay. The prepositional phrase is under the bridge.
Good job.
And
under is the preposition. Bridge is the object of the preposition. Do you see a conjunction?
Mm-hmm. A conjunction is the and.
Good job.
And
okay, now let's find our principal elements.
Walleye and trout.
Those are compound direct objects, but the principal elements, fisherman caught, that's right. Subject and predicate are those 2 parts. Now, what did he catch? Or they catch? Fishermen is plural.
Trout and walleye.
That's right. Trout and walleye.
Which is
both of these are direct objects.
And the is an adjective, and under describes the caught.
Under the bridge is an adverbial prepositional phrase. Good. Okay, excellent work. Could I have Drisha do sentence 2 for us?
Okay. I actually already marked the sentence and all that stuff.
Okay.
So
start by finding a conjunction.
Wait. On the shore, the fishermen built a fire and a small fire pit and a small fire. So, wait, what should I start doing by?
Conjunction, please.
Conjunction is and.
That's right,
And the prepositional phrase is on the shore.
Good, on the shore. On is the preposition. Shore is the object of the preposition. The is an adjective. What is the subject?
The subject is fisherman. So basically the principal elements are built and fisherman.
Good. Fisherman is the subject. Built is a predicate verb.
And the prepositional phrase on is the preposition, and then shore is the object of the preposition. And the compound direct objects are pit and fire.
Good.
And so on the shore describes where they built it. They built it on the shore, so that it's an adverb and it points to built. Then you have to put prep underneath it. And then then A and fire describe pit. A and small describe fire. And the and other describe fishermen.
Well done.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that is all. Great job, Tricia.
Thank you.
Okay, that is all for well-ordered language as well. We're going to write our words in orthography notebook before we get started on math today. So let's quickly transition over to orthography. Orthography. We are going to do lesson 109 today. Writing our first word, immediate. Please write immediate. This is on page 65 for me. Is it the same for you guys? Okay, good. Page 65. Oh, Saisanov, I don't know what happened, that you're on a different page.
I'm kidding.
Oh, I see. Next, please write convenient. Convenient. Then we have receipt. We think to spell receipt. And finally, preliminary. Preliminary. Let me know when you're done, please. And once you're done, you can take out your math notebook. Okay, for math today, we are going to be talking about elapsed time, which means how much time passes between different things. This might be something that you guys remember doing on the ACT Aspire test. It also might be something that comes up in MAP testing. This is pretty common that of the time sort of questions, they cover elapsed time. It's also very practical because all the time in real life, you're figuring out when things start or end or how much time has passed for something. Yes, Isanov?
I have this app called IXL, and I did Elapsed Time.
Oh, nice. Sounds like Arjun and Ahana and Rihanna have done it too, and Drishya. Great. So you might be a pro at it already. Adarsh?
I also do it.
Nice, that's great. Okay, so we're going to be doing elapsed time, and there are 3 different ways that we'll be doing it. One way is when we know when something starts and when it ends, and we want to figure out how much time has passed. For example, if Tom has soccer practice that starts at 3:00 p.m. and it ends at 5:00. How long is the soccer practice? Devansh, how long is the soccer practice if it starts at 3:00 and ends at 5:00?
So if you minus 5 from 3, that would equal 2. So basically, the soccer practice is for 2 hours.
Very good. That's right. It can basically just be subtraction since you don't have any minutes to deal with. It's just hours. 5 minus 3 is 2 hours that have passed by. Right here it says elapsed time is the amount of time that has passed between the start and end time of an activity. So whenever we hear that, it's how much time has passed between when it starts and when it ends. Here's an example of elapsed time where there's minutes and minutes. It says Anita started her dinner at 6:45. She finished eating at 7:20. So she started at 6:45, ended at 7:20. How much time did it take for her to eat her dinner? Arjun?
What again?
How much time did it take for her to eat her dinner if she started at 6:45 and ended at 7:20? Notice it took 15 minutes to get to 7:00 and then an extra 20.
Yeah, so then it's 35 minutes. So
that's
right. The time between 6:45 to 7 is 15 minutes, and then 7 to 7:20 is 20. So 20 plus 15, then you should know that's 35 minutes. That's
excellent. Yeah, great explanation. Okay, let's do a little guided practice, just thinking through how much time has passed. We should be able to do these mentally. We'll get to ones where we have to draw it out, but these we should do mentally. Ahana, could you read number 1 and answer it?
What time is 3 hours after 7 p.m.?
Very good. And what's the answer?
10 o'clock.
Good. Nethra, can you do the same for number 2?
9:15.
Excellent. Sai, can you do number 3 for us?
It's 3 hours.
Good. 3 hours between 9:00 and noon, which means 12. Krish, can you do number 4 for us?
Okay. How many hours? 2 hours.
Good. 2 hours have passed. Rashi, can you do number 5? Number 5, Rashi.
What?
Can you read number 5 and solve it?
Okay, what time is 15 minutes after 11 o'clock a.m.? It's 11:15 a.m.
Excellent. Arima, can you do number 6 for us?
Yeah. It says, what time is 45 minutes after 11:30 a.m.? I think it's 12:15 a.m. 12:15 p.m.
It's 12:15 p.m. exactly, because we add on 30 minutes to get to 12 and then an extra 15.
Yeah.
And finally, number 7, Saisanov, could you do this one? Or you did one, didn't you? Darshika?
How many minutes are there from 11:50 a.m. to 12:25 p.m.? It is 35 minutes.
Excellent. 35 minutes is correct. 10 minutes to get to 12 and then an extra 25. Okay, let's get into finding elapsed time in hours and minutes like this. So if it's not just minutes or just hours, but hours and minutes, it's helpful to use a timeline for that kind of situation. Right. In this example, it says that there's 2 little girls, Rachel and Shannon, who went to a book fair. They arrived at 7:50 p.m. and they left at 9:15 p.m. When you've got a time that far away from each other, it can be helpful to do this timeline where basically we draw out when it starts and then get to the next hour. And we can see 10 minutes passed between 7:50 and 8 p.m. And then there's an hour from 8 to 9. And then 15 extra minutes from 9 o'clock to 9:15, which is when it ended. Now, our final answer of how much time has passed is 1 hour, and 10 plus 15 is 25 minutes. So 1 hour, 25 minutes is the answer. Okay, I'd like us to do an example problem very similar to that in your math notebooks at this time. So please pick up your math notebook. Okay, I'm going to give you the start time and end time, and we'll find out how much time has elapsed. We're going to start at 2:35 p.m. Imagine you're going to a birthday party. It starts at 2:35 p.m. You leave at 5:20 p.m. And we do have to pay attention to a.m. or p.m. because if you left at 5:20 a.m., that's a much longer party. Saisanov?
Are you looking at something? Including of these? Yeah.
I'm looking at something for these problems, yes.
Oh.
Is that what you're asking? Or did you think I just made it up? I was making up some of them for my 8:30 class. I'll make up some for you guys too.
Yeah, I was just thinking because it took so long. Probably I thought you'll make them up, but then it took a little while, so like that.
I was just taking a look because it's the page is all over the place, so I was trying to figure out exactly what time we would say, but I will make some up for you guys too. Would you like that? It's pretty easy to make them up. Actually, let's change it from, go off what the book says. Let's change it to 6:20. Stayed an extra hour. 6:20, just to make it fun. Okay, we are going to start with a timeline. That's going to start at 2:35 p.m. And actually, since we start and end at p.m., I'm not going to really focus on that. Now we want to begin our timeline by getting to the next hour. Kshitij, what's the next hour?
The next hour will be 3:35.
Oh, sorry, not an hour from now, but the next hour, like that ends with o'clock.
Oh, wait, I don't understand.
Sorry, 3 o'clock, we would want to get to 3 o'clock. So we start at 2:35, we want to get to 3 o'clock. That's what I mean by the next hour. Now, how much time has passed, Kshitij, between 2:35 and 3 o'clock?
Okay, 25 minutes.
Perfect. 25 minutes, I'll abbreviate as MIN, and do a little arrow to show we're jumping ahead in time. Now, I know that it ends at 6:20, but I'm going to go to 6 o'clock since that's going to be an easy calculation. Let's go all the way to 6 o'clock. Whoa, how much time just passed from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock? Arima?
3 hours?
3 hours, correct. 3H is what I'm going to put above it. 3 hours have passed. Then from 6 o'clock to 6:20, how much time has passed? That'll be our last step. Brianna?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, correct. So, how long did the party last? We're going to look at how many hours have passed and how many minutes. Rashi?
45
minutes
minutes and 3 hours.
Good. 3 hours and 45 minutes. Okay. I think that it would be best actually just to, I'll pull this up. Now, if we have a story problem where we don't know how much time has passed, we do know how much time has passed. We know the elapsed time and we know the start time, but we don't know this end time. It's going to have a timeline very similar, but the way we solve it is different. All right, let's just jump right into a problem like that. Okay, let's say, take our class as an example. We start class at what time? Arima?
Around 11:30.
11:30, that's right, a.m.
Yeah.
And let's say that the amount of time spent in class before we get to reading groups is about 1 hour and 45 minutes. Sometimes more like 1 hour, 50 minutes. Or even 1 hour and 55 minutes, but it's about an hour, 45 minutes. And what I want to know is, what time does that mean that class is over? Okay, let's start a timeline. Do we know what time it starts? We know it starts at 11:30 a.m. Now we want to get to the next hour, which would be what? Saisanov?
It would be 12 o'clock. I mean, wait, next hour?
Yes, you got it.
Wait, 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, that's right. Now, how much time passes between 11:30 and 12 o'clock, Saisanov?
30 minutes.
Correct. Good job. 30 minutes have passed. We need to use up an hour 45. We've used up 30 minutes so far. Now let's jump ahead an hour to 1 o'clock. By the way, these are now PM, right? We went from 11 to 12, so now it's PM. How much time just passed? Arima?
1 hour.
Correct, 1 hour. So we've used up an hour and 30 minutes so far. How much more time do we have left? I'm going to make this last one a little shorter. How much more time do we have left? Sai? Notice it's been an hour and 30 minutes so far, and we need to use up this amount of time. 15 more minutes, that's right. Now, what is 15 minutes after 1 o'clock?
1:15.
You got it. So that tells us when class approximately ends. So we could say class ends at 1:15 p.m. Does that make sense? Kind of the thought process behind it. Start at that, try to get to the next hour, try to jump ahead by hours as much as you can, and then be thinking through, what do I still have left? Okay, now, if we have the opposite, we'll take a look at something like that. Now, what if I say Arjun went on a bike ride? Arjun finished his bike ride at 4:35 p.m. Okay, this is a new one. He ends or finishes his bike ride at 4:35 p.m.
Can you move the page down?
Yes. Okay, so Arjun went on a bike ride. He ended his ride at 4:35 p.m. And Arjun, how long do you think you would take on a bike ride?
An hour or so.
Good. Let's make it an hour and 20 minutes. Time spent was an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, I ended up making this maybe a little too easy. How about an hour and 40 minutes? That'll make it more interesting. Right? An hour and 40 minutes. That'll make it more interesting. So we know that he ended his bike ride at 4:35 p.m. He spent an hour and 40 minutes or so on his bike. Now, let's start a timeline. Now, do we know when it starts? Nope, that's going to be, you could even do a question mark there if it helps you. Now, what time did Arjun finish? Saisanov?
4:35. Plus, class ends at 3 minutes.
Oh, that's right. We better be quick. Now, we know he ends at 4:35. We don't know when he starts, but we're going to figure it out. So, Arjun, can you go ahead 3 hours in time? What's 3 hours before your end time?
1:35. Or just what?
We're going to go ahead 1 hour in time. Or I shouldn't say ahead. What's 1 hour before 4:35?
Oh. So like 4, right? Are we doing 3? No, 3. 3.
Actually, sorry, let me double check if they want you to do. Yeah, actually get to 4 o'clock first.
Okay.
And no, I don't like the way they do. Okay, sorry, never mind. What I would recommend for these is to think through, okay, I'm going to go back that many hours first. So that would be 3:35 would be 1 hour before 4:35. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I would recommend as your first step. Now we know we need to go back another 40 minutes. But we can't very easily go back 40 minutes from 3:35. So let's instead go back to 3 o'clock. How much time passes between 3:35 and 3 o'clock? 35 minutes.
And then you go back 5 minutes, and then that is 2:55.
Very good. 2:55. I think that's the best way to do it. Okay. Go back the hours, and then go back the minutes. If you can immediately subtract those minutes, that's great. If you can't, go back to the nearest hour and then more. Hello?
Ms. Gardner.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like me to make you a plate?
Oh, thank you so much. I have a class that will end in about 15 minutes, and then I can head down.
Okay.
Thank you. They have lunch provided at the school today, so they were asking if they would want me to have a plate brought up. But I'm going to end class very soon with you guys. So, okay. Does that make sense, boys and girls? Okay, let's take a look at our workbook. 16.5. You'll be doing pages 159 through 163 today. Sorry, 62. The first section here you should probably be able to do mentally. Like, what is 2 hours after 8 o'clock p.m.? What is 3 hours before 6:40 a.m.? Yes, Arjun?
So should we write it like 8 o'clock p.m. or can you just write 8 p.m.?
I'd like you to write
2 hours before, after 8 a.m. is 10 a.m. But should we write 10 .00 p.m. or
yes,
should
please. Yes, I would like you to write the o'clock part because that's the formal way of doing it. Okay, and The next section down here at the bottom. Oh, Arima, did you have a question too?
Why do they want to know 3 hours before 6:40? Because no one would do anything at that time.
Before 6:40 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if any of you guys have had to wake up super early for a flight. I could see that being the case.
Well,
like if you have to be, if you have a 6:40 a.m. flight, you might have to wake up 3 hours before the flight. Nethra?
Today I woke up at like 4 or something.
Whoa, 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
Looks like Ahana's given a thumbs up for that too. Wow, that is early. Okay, next section. Find the elapsed time. Use a timeline to help you. So you start at 7:45, get to the next hour, and then move on to 8:15. More of that for these. For this one, you'll write the correct time, thinking about what is 3 hours and 15 minutes after 9:30, and then draw it on the clock. And then you'll do that for the time before 2 a.m. Then we've got word problems here. Some of them tell you when it starts, when it ends. Others tell you when it starts, and then how long it took, the time spent. And then there are some that tell you how long was the time spent, what was the elapsed time, and then she left the library at 5:40 p.m., so that means she ended at that time, right? So those are the 3 styles of problems. One, we know both times. We're trying to figure out the elapsed time. One style is we know when it begins, we know how much time has elapsed, and we're trying to figure out the end time. And then the third style is when we don't know when it starts, but we do know what time it's over and how much time elapsed. Those are the 3 styles that you have in your notebook. So you have an example to go along with each of those, okay? If there are no other questions, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll have just my reading group stay with me at this time.
Bye, Miss Gardner. Bye, Miss Gardner.
Bye.
Hello, Miss Gardner.
Hello, Miss Gardner. Hello, Miss Gardner.
Hello, Saisanov.
Miss Gardner,
Hello,
I had a
Miss
question.